I'm passing the phone to someone who works in a rural school with only 54 students, dilapidated infrastructure, and many students from low socioeconomic backgrounds who are very timid and often absent.
I'm passing the phone to a teacher who works at a school with a population of 1,000 students, but only 600 comes out on a normal day. And she says the students love her, but she struggles to get the students to participate in classroom activities. She say, oh, they're shy.
I am passing the phone to a teacher who works in a school in Central that has a student population of 840. Now, while the majority of students achieve full CXC certification, others struggle academically and experience low self-esteem due to financial constraints at home.
I'm passing the phone to someone who works in an urban school where 90% of the students come from low socioeconomic backgrounds. This often leads to high absenteeism and high dropout rates at the higher form. I don't know how he does it.
I'm passing the phone to a teacher who works in a school with a population of 750 in Central, and on a normal day, only 500 students are present. When they announce that it's the last day for food in the White House, the school becomes a ghost town.
And many definitions of inclusive education. Allow me to share two useful ones with you. Inclusive education focuses on integrating all children into the same classroom, ensuring learning opportunities for traditional excluded groups such as children with disabilities and minority language speakers, while promoting diversity, meeting diverse needs, and eliminating discrimination. Secondly, it aims to eliminate barriers of learning, addressing issues like curriculum and teaching methods. Despite exclusion based on factors like genders, ethnicity, and more, UNESCO emphasizes the importance of every learner. The Education 2030 framework prioritizes inclusion and equity for quality education. The definitions are relevant to today's society and education system, emphasizing that exclusion is varied and complex. Let's refer to socioeconomic status, which is an individual's or family's social standing, impacting their achievements in both social and economic areas. Children from a higher and intermediate SES family typically benefit from a more favorable learning environment at home due to greater access to learning resources. In contrast, low family SES is often linked to poorer academic performances. Research shows that factors such as parental occupation, family income, and education are key indicators of a child's socio-economic background. According to NASRI 2023, generally, children from a low socio-economic background tend to perform poorly academically.
As we approach an understanding for the need to address students of low socioeconomic status and their challenge of inclusion, it is realized that even in fundamental theories of psychology and sociology, that justification is given, as Maslow meets Karl Marx. Two similar-looking pyramids, but which address students of low socioeconomic status from the individual level with Maslow and from the macro-societal level of inequality and stratification with Karl Marx, both pointing to the fact that low socioeconomic status can greatly affect a child's ability to be included, whether it is because of absence, because of lack of finances, or because of their low efficacy. As teachers and in-school stakeholders, we really need to get moving on a change to help students with low socioeconomic backgrounds to be included in education. Moreover, in order to embrace change or subversion of the current social order within our various school contexts, we move beyond Maslow and Marx and towards social interactionism. Social interactionism allows the teacher and other micro-level stakeholders within the school to assert their agency, construct meaning, and shape society. In social interactionism, we have the power to construct and reconstruct from a micro level, as opposed to more disruptive, radical, and long-term macro-level reforms for social order change, suggested by Marx. Our micro-level classroom contexts matter, and change is needed now.
Miss Guidance, I need a therapist today. You will not believe what happened. I am having the worst day. You know this boy Jimmy in my class? This boy always missing out class. Only coming out the first week of school and the last 2 weeks for exams. So guess what? Exam Saturday, guess who show up? Jimmy. Well, you know how to brace that.
So, miss, what was this child's reaction?
That is the thing when I say the boy look embarrassed. And the whole class started to make fun of him. Oh, how his shoes worn out, his uniform wrinkled up, all kind of thing. Miss, it was just the ruse. It was the ruse.
Miss, I don't want you to be too hard on yourself, I understand that as a teacher, it can be frustrating at times. However, you have to remember that we are professionals. And these children sometimes go through so much hardship at home. You never know what type of family and financial situation they are facing. Whether they have to work to make ends meet, whether they have to take care of younger siblings. So we need a plan for them. We need to follow, collaborate if we must. We need to meet with parents and other stakeholders, collect information and make a change or some type of intervention. We need to start getting this child to come to school more regularly, to be included in schooling. Because if you don't get on this with this child, he will miss out on all his classes.
True. Yes, I know my reaction was so insensitive. And you know what? I ain't even done yet. Because I have two girls in my class, Risha and Tamisha. The same thing. Always sitting down at the back of the class, never answering anything. I could do the handouts, I could explain, and they know they never have textbooks. When I ask them a question, it's like I'm trying to kill them.
Again, miss, you do not realize these children might be under stress at home because their parents may not be there to support them, since many of their parents may be working 2 and 3 jobs. These students simply lack self-esteem and efficacy to engage in classroom activities. To them, there's no motivation to engage.
Listen, I think you're right. As much as I don't want to admit it, but I think that you're right. Because I need to do something about my approach. I really need to contact that principal of ours, you know. But we really need to contact the principal and see what they could do to help me and to help them.
Definitely, we need to start stepping up and doing right by these children. You sound like you need some training to change some of your strategies. And we as a school need to collaborate and implement some type of program to meet the needs of these students. This sounds like signs of low socioeconomic students. And they need to be included in education for sure to break that cycle. Remember, the children are more than just what we see in front of us. We need to consider them holistically.
True.
As we delve into our approaches to include students of low socioeconomic background in learning, we look at the approach of teacher professional development to enhance capacity and build teacher efficacy, and in turn build our own students' efficacy. According to Cambridge International, teacher professional development includes a continuous process of reflection, learning, and action to further teachers' knowledge and skills, leading to enhanced teaching practices that positively impact our students' learning. What will teacher professional development look like in our various contexts? Well, it will have to be more than just a one-day workshop on a random area to be improved. It will have to entail informed, ongoing training and monitoring and evaluation on targeted topics and strategies. One such topic is the universal design for learning. According to Cornell University on building universal classrooms, universal design for learning is a teaching approach that works to accommodate the needs and abilities of all learners and eliminates the unnecessary hurdles in the learning process and improves the learning experience of all. This means developing flexible learning environments in which information is presented in multiple ways. Students engage in learning from a variety of ways, and students are provided options for demonstrating learning. Moreover, this means teacher professional development as our specific approach. While it can include universal design for learning, it is also not limited to it. Thus, inquiry-based learning, where teachers observe and ask and inquire about students' interests and goals to build improvement and thereby create efficacy in learning activities and topics, can be enforced. Additionally, differentiated learning that approaches specific topics from different sensory aspects and strategies can also be used to increase the chance of student efficacy and interest. Furthermore, the aspect of motivation from a behaviorist approach can also be included. The aspect of positive reinforcement introduced by B.F. Skinner can also be a parsimonious way to increase student efficacy if it is used with something like language, speak acts, positive speak acts, with expressives that appeal to the student's affective domain and thereby boost their efficacy and self-esteem. Lastly, an inclusion of the health and family life education as a subject area can be an aspect of teacher training as a matter of policy to be implemented by all teachers on a more prevalent level in schools. It is one of the main areas of training that can equip teachers with knowledge and methods that can not only seek to break the cycle of future poverty through topics like money management, budgeting, but also transform the culture and mindsets of low socioeconomic socialization by directly addressing topics such as self-esteem, health, hygiene, substance abuse, so that teachers and students are not out of touch with each other's realities, and thereby learning can be engaged from levels that really appeal to them. There are certainly several foundation areas that can apply and give justification for the approach of teacher professional development. However, for our purposes, we will only look at a few. Firstly, Vygotsky's psychological perspective of socio-cultural theory is one that emphasizes the role of interaction and particularly the social context in the effectiveness of education. Thus, for TPD to be functional and productive, Vygotsky believes the context must inform the type of teaching methods, practices, and policies. And in turn, it is also the teacher's demeanor, knowledge, and adeptness of pedagogy that influences context. The intrinsic term of more knowledgeable other further legitimizes the need, one, for the teacher to learn from others, experts, lecturers, mentors. Two, the need for the teachers themselves to be lifelong learners since they are the more knowledgeable others for their students. Secondly, language. If we envision ourselves as doorways or as opening to a cave, much like Plato's allegory of the cave, then the perspective of the teacher metaphor certainly applies. A doorway or opening is capable of allowing entrance and exit. Just as teachers give knowledge, they must also receive. This is exactly one of the main reasons for teacher professional development from a language perspective. Just like the opening in Plato's cave, teacher professional development is one way to let light in so that it can be shared with our students as we enforce positive speech acts to make and shake meanings in the microcosm of our classrooms. Lastly, the HFLE perspective from Bronfenbrenner's ecological approach also gives credence to teacher professional development, since it emphasizes how an individual's development is as a result of their interactions. Thus, the teacher, in our various contexts with low socioeconomic backgrounds, would benefit from training that would enhance their development. Consequently, their students, which takes into consideration both internal and external factors which can affect the child from a low socioeconomic background.
The major stakeholders involved in our teacher development approach are administration or the principal, the teacher, and the guidance officer. The principal will act as a liaison with the Ministry of Education and other non-governmental organizations to organize and fund training for teachers. They will encourage staff to improve their expertise by allowing for greater teacher initiative in implementing inclusive practices to cater to individual contexts. The teacher will advocate for teacher professional development that relates to their learners' context. They will reflect on and adapt teaching strategies to mirror inclusive techniques and be more open to collaborating with peers and other stakeholders, including parents. The guidance officer will facilitate workshops on mental wellness for both learners and teachers and work with teachers to identify interventions for students who are struggling academically and socially. These stakeholders, individually and collectively, will help include students from low socioeconomic backgrounds in the learning process. What are the challenges faced in implementing teacher professional development? Lack of continuity. Professional development workshops tend to be one-off and generalized. They also may not fit individual teaching contexts. Low teacher efficacy. If teachers are not confident in their ability to implement inclusive strategies in instruction, they shy away from incorporating inclusive techniques and may not give efforts necessary for students of lower socioeconomic backgrounds to be fully included in the classroom. Negative teacher attitudes. Teachers bring to the classroom their individual biases. Through the hidden curriculum, teachers convey to students their expectations of the outcomes of teaching and learning strategies. Negative attitudes by teachers on the effectiveness of inclusive education may be internalized by their students who, according to Merton's self-fulfilling prophecy, will also not believe in the process and not participate fully. Lack of teacher understanding. Implementing inclusive practices involves creating a supportive learning environment, which might prove challenging for teachers who generally share middle-class values and may be unable to relate to students from lower socioeconomic groups. The class barrier may prove difficult to overcome, as teachers and students may have different value systems. Therefore, teacher development may not guarantee inclusion in the classroom.
Today I want to share our proposed approach to tackling this critical issue of chronic absenteeism in our school. Recognizing the profound impact that low socioeconomic status has on student attendance, we propose the establishment of a social welfare committee. This committee will include the principal, year group deans, teachers, and school social workers, all collaborating to address the needs of our vulnerable students. Research, including the findings of Balfans and Burns, supports a collaborative school-based approach to absenteeism. Such an approach is grounded in several key principles. 1. Consistently measuring and tracking absenteeism. 2. Creating diagnostic tools to identify the reasons behind student absenteeism. 3. Developing problem-solving strategies to address those reasons. 4. Building and maintaining strong relationships with students and their families. 5. Rewarding good attendance. And 6. Regularly reviewing the effectiveness of our methods to refine our strategies. This approach reflects the principles of progressivism, a philosophy emphasizing inclusivity and equal opportunity. Progressivism promotes critical thinking, societal improvement, and interactive learning. Visionaries like John Dewey and Paulo Freire championed education as a pathway to social transformation. Freire stated, "Education is the practice of freedom, the means by which men and women deal critically and creatively with reality and discover how to participate in the transformation of the world." Similarly, Dewey asserted, "Democracy has to be born anew every generation, and education is its midwife." Both Dewey and Freire believe that inclusive education is essential for overcoming societal inequalities and creating social change. Inspired by their ideals, the Social Welfare Committee aims to create an inclusive environment, addressing the specific needs of students from low-income backgrounds. Role of the administration. The administration's primary responsibility will be establishing the committee and the policies that guide its operations. Key initiatives will include 1. Creation of a database of all students who exhibit chronic absenteeism with the aim of separating offenders depending on severity. Example, moderate absenteeism 10% to 25%, and severe absenteeism over 25%. This database will be constantly updated and monitored with the goal of ascertaining the reason behind each case of chronic absenteeism. 2. Proposing solutions tailored to each tier of student absenteeism with particular focus placed on early intervention. 3. Creation of a fundraising subcommittee with the goal of raising funds toward providing financial assistance to low-income students. These funds will be distributed to students to provide financial support based on assessed need. And 4. Organizing assemblies to emphasize the importance of attendance and encouraging teachers to reinforce the message during homeroom periods. Role of teachers. Teachers play a pivotal role in this initiative, focusing on two areas, collaboration and education. Teachers will work with students and parents in fundraising efforts to support low-income families. Form teachers will intervene early, contacting parents when absenteeism exceeds 10%. Research done by attendantworks.org shows that timely intervention, coupled with consistent communication, is critical in reducing absenteeism. The role of the teacher in progressive education involves teaching students their rights, responsibilities, and participating in social and civic life. According to Bakari et al., combating societal issues in the curriculum can foster a sense of social responsibility among students. To ensure that our fundraising ventures are successful, it is vital that the student body is brought on board. Teachers will embed societal issues in the curriculum, fostering a sense of social responsibility among students. They will advocate for financially burdened students and encourage the broader student body to participate in efforts that promote positive societal change. And finally, to support students in the severe absenteeism category, teachers will create tailored study-at-home packages focusing on enhanced critical thinking and problem-solving skills.
The role of the social worker. Social workers in schools promote attendance by addressing both external and internal factors that affect students. Yuri Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory recognizes the importance of family, community, and school in shaping a child's behavior. Bronfenbrenner argues that children growing up in unfortunate circumstances need support that not only reaches the families, but other parts of the child's community. Since the social worker is often tasked with visiting the homes of children to assess situations that may affect students' absenteeism, his or her role is crucial in the application of this collaborative approach. The social worker can educate parents about the importance of regular attendance in the academic success and overall emotional well-being of the child. They will also work to point out and overcome barriers associated with transportation, mental health issues, or family stress, among others. Additionally, social workers can work alongside teachers and members of administration to create positive reinforcement strategies, such as rewards for regular attendance, to motivate students and strengthen their connection to the school. This holistic collaborative approach will help improve consistent school attendance by creating a seamless relationship between home and school. Here are some possible challenges with this collaborative approach. Students may be reluctant to accept assistance or engage in interventions due to feelings of embarrassment surrounding their financial difficulties. The effective operation of this committee will require very dedicated personnel who are willing to give up on their personal time and energy. In the current school atmosphere where many teachers are already overworked, some teachers may be unwilling to accept further responsibility. The community will require a constant generation of funds, which even with successful fundraising may still prove to be insufficient in order to cater to all affected students. Managing confidential student information and ensuring privacy can be difficult, especially when there are concerns about how the information is shared and who has access to it.